Hi, Year 3. It's Mr. Jones here. It's the 12th of January 2021, and today we're going to be looking at multiplication times in by 8, doubling and doubling again. Okay? There's some feedback on our division yesterday. You were great at understanding division is the inverse operation multiplication, but recall of those division facts is really important. So what I'm saying with that is, basically, if we think about it, if I go on, I know 6 times 8 is what? 48. Okay? So what does that tell me? Is a really useful. So I've got 48 here. I know that 6 times equals 48. I know that 8 times 6 equals 48. The commutative law, it doesn't matter if we switch those over, just exactly like addition. And apply to division and subtraction, but from times, multiplication and addition, the commutative law is in operation. So it doesn't matter what order 6 and 8, the two factors are in, whether it's 6 times 8 or 8 times 6, we still get the same answer. Okay, but this, knowing this times table fact, allows me to know that 48 divided by 8 equals 6. I can write that down as well. 48 divided by 8 equals 6. I also know that 48 divided by 6 equals 8. So basically, knowing 6 times 8 is 48 allows me to know that 8 times 6 is 48, and allows me through the inverse operation to also know these division facts. 48 divided by 8 is 6, and 48 divided by 6 equals 8. So it's really important that we learn these times tables. These times tables open up a whole area of maths, okay? And we should know these equivalent division facts, okay? So let's look at the next screen. So that's what I'm talking about. We really need to know that. Today we're going to look at 8 times table, and particularly the relationship between the 8, the 4 and the 2 times table. If I know my 2 times table, I can work out the 8 times table. Okay, new learning is practice, so we can recall multiplication and division facts for our 8 times table. Okay, let's look at the next slide. Okay, so there's my blog. People in school will be putting it into their book. You can even write that down in your book if you want. Okay, fluency first. Could we quickly recall our 8 times table? Write it down in your maths book as quick as you can, remembering 0 times 8 or 8 times 0. Remember that that's 0. Write down the 8 times table as quickly as you can, please. Remember, 1 digit, 1 square in our squared books. Make sure that you have done the short date, which is the 12th of the 1st, 2021, and make sure you use a ruler. Those high expectations presentation, really important at home, not just at school. Okay, so use a ruler to underline those. Okay, on your marks, get set, go. You can freeze the video at this time, at this stage. So we will. I'm expecting you to write that really quickly, really neatly. One number, 1 digit per square. Okay, so now we're going to look at the lesson. Okay, so discover. What you'll see is the question is basically what answers are missing. Question 1A at the bottom. And what is the connection between the 2, 4 and 8 times table? I can see that all the 2 times table is there. Okay, all the 2 times tables there. See that? All the way up the stairs. What about the 4 times table? All there. So we're looking at the 8 times table. Okay, so we can see, if I start, the missing answer I've got is here, 2 times 8. The second answer that's missing, if you keep going up, is 6 times 8. And the third answer missing is 9 times 8. Okay, if you know your times tables, you could just bang those answers in straight away. And I'm just going to show you a little tool that we can use to help us solve the 8 times table. Okay, so let's have a look. Remembering, we've got 2 times 8. If I didn't know the 2 times 8, didn't know the answer, is there a method I could use to help us try and solve it? Okay, so we knew from our times table, from our display, that 2 times by 4 equals 8. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. 2 times 4 equals 8. Now, if I didn't know my 4 times table, I could do this. I double 8. What's double 8? Timed 2 times 4 by 2. Okay, what is 4 lots of 8, or 8 times 4? What is 8 times 4? I can double my 16 and get double 10 is 20, double 6 12. I end up with 32. I'm really using my 2 times table here. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 lots of 4. I don't need to know my 4 times table. I can just double the answer. And then I double the answer again to get 4 lots of 8. Okay, so I can do 2 times 4, 4 times 4, 4 times 8. If I double the answer, it gives me a method if I don't know my times table. Now, why might that be useful? If I say here, 23 times 2, and 23 times. Okay, let's just have a think. 23 times 8. What's double 20 and double 3? Double 20 is 40. Double 3 is 6. Now, let's try and do 23 times by 4. What I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on this answer and I'm going to double 46. What's double 4? Make 10 times bigger. What is double 6? 2 5s 10, 2 1s 2. So that's 12. Okay, 80 at 10 is 90, add 2 is 92. So what I've done is I've doubled 46. I knew what 2 lots of 23 was, 46. I've doubled the 46 to get 92. Now, can we double these? 92. Okay, I'm going to consider this 9t. 9. What's 2 times 9? It's 18. Make it 10 times bigger. 180. What's 2 lots of 2 is 4. Okay, so what's 180? Add 4. Okay, I've solved 3 times 8 purely by knowing the 2 times table and doubling. I've got my 2 times table, 23 times 4. I've doubled the answer using factor, timesing something by 10, making 10 times bigger. And I've got 184. So that's quite a nice mental method, mental semi-written method of solving the bigger numbers in the 8 times table. Quite a useful tool at doubling and doubling again to get my answer. Okay, so let's get back to my slides. So you can work out, using Mr. Jones's method of doubling and doubling again, 6 times 2, 6 times 4. If I look at 6 times 4, it's 24. Double 24 for me. It's quite easy. 20, what's and I get the answer to be 48. Really? Too difficult. Doubling and doubling again. I know that 9 times 2 is 18. I know 9 times 4 is 36. So we need to double the answer. What's double 30? Double 3, make it 10 times bigger. What's double 6? So we end up with 72. It's quite a nice way of working out the 8 times. If you don't know the 8 times table, but once we get to bigger numbers, 25 times 8, 27 times 8, the doubling and doubling again method works quite nicely. You might be using that as you go on further up the score. Okay, here we've got some simple arrays represented 2 times 8, 6 times 8, 9 times 8. Of course, you could do dots, 9 lots of 8 dots, and then you could count the dots, and you get 72. 6 times 8, yes, 6 lots of 8, 48, 2 lots of 8, 16. Okay, you can do that, but the more efficient way of working out the 8 times table is knowing your times tables, basically. Know your times tables is really, really simple. Okay, now you'll see here, the next question is really what we were doing. So this is a representation, an array representation of the doubling and double again. As simple as that. Okay, so that's one of the focuses we've been looking at today, doubling and doubling again. Okay, now think together. First of all, the most important thing is to read the question. How many of each object are there in total? What multiplication fact can you use to work out the total? Okay, so the first representation looks like water bottles. First of all, count the water bottles. Then count the packs that contain the water bottles. How many packs have I got? 5. And how many bottles? Pack. Count them for me. Okay, fantastic. 5 times 8, which will be 40 bottles in total. Okay. Mr. Jones isn't very good at this writing digitally. There's the word sentence. There are 40 bottles in total. Okay. Count here for me. Count the squares, and then just like an array, answer that for me. I'm not going to do that, you can do that for me. And then you need to count the eggs. How many eggs in the row? and how many eggs in the column. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 8 times 11, or 11 times 8, because the commutative law doesn't really matter which order we put them in. And then that tells me how many eggs there are. 10 lots of 8 is another lot of 8. That would become 88. 88 what? 88 lollipops, 8 eggs. So we need to put that in that little sentence. People know what we're answering. Okay, so over to you. And I would like you to solve questions. I'm going to help you with those. I'm going to put you on pause. Just pause the video while you solve those. Hopefully, you know your times tables, or you can perhaps work them out. Okay, let's go on to our next video. Okay. This is our challenge. I thought it'd be quite interesting. Just have a look here. Find all the matching answers and what is the pattern. Here, I've got 5 times 8. Here, I've got 10 times 4. Here, I've got 20 times 2. Now, 5 times 8 is 4. 10 times 4 is 20 times 2 is 40. Interesting. What about, let's have a look. What are we doing to this 5 for it to become 10? We are timesing this digit by 2. What are we doing to the 8? Taking away 4, because we're looking at multiplication division. We are halving it, or dividing it by 2. And that is what you'll see is happening to us. We've doubled 20, and we've halved 4. And it gives us the same answer. Can you spot anywhere? What's double 3? Double 3 is 6. What's half of 8 is 4. So 3 times 8 is the same as 6 times 4. What about if we double 6? We get 12. And if we half 4, we get 2. Okay. So again, see if you can solve those rest of, put your arrows, match the pattern. I found out some matches without working out any of the calculations. I remember that 4 times 22 is the same as 2 times 44. If we're halving one factor, we have to double the other factor to get the same answer. Remember, factor times factor equals product. Have a go at doing this table. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we are going on to our workbook. And our workbook, we're looking at, I think page 130 is the 8 times table. Questions that you need to answer. Okay, not the first page is quite easy if you know your 8 times table. Okay, some more challenging questions here, and I might go through those with you tomorrow. Hopefully you'll be able to work them out. So have a go at those questions. And just on what page it is. Okay, just going back to page 130 in your practice books. Okay, so I'll leave that there just in case you have any trouble logging on through Active Learn. Remember, you go through bugs and then Bug Club, put your login details, then you'll find that route. I think I was out on yesterday's videos, but it's page 130. I'll leave them up just in case anybody has any problems accessing them. And then this is the last sheet. Okay, so fantastic. Really enjoyed that lesson. Just keep going on to times tables, rock stars, and really practice those times tables. Like I said, write them down, stick them on, put near where you can see them in your bedroom, read them before you go to bed, and really learn them off by heart because they're so useful for those division facts, and it really gets your mathematical brain working. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that lesson, year 3. Looking forward to teaching you tomorrow. So big wave, stay safe, go outside in the garden, have a bit of fresh air. It's not all work, and see you tomorrow.